A race that began a couple of years ago with 2 tracks may now be extremely close to receiving a slot on the calendar as early as 2027. The massive megaproject Qiddiya is wrapping up, while Kyalami just got upgraded to grade 1 of the FIA's requirements. So, could we see a massive shake-up of the calendar sooner rather than later? And if we do, which tracks will fall victim to the expansion of Formula One? The situation in Formula One has been loud and clear for the past couple of years. We are expanding to countries we've never been to before and on tracks that defy the concept of traditional and normal. If you were to look at the Qiddiya project, you would understand why the hype is so big around Saudi Arabia's massive initiative. It's a construction of an F1 track like we haven't seen, a 20-story high first corner that is going to rise and fall by a massive 108 meters as it soars over a music venue. Thanks to Alex Wers, the man behind the design of the track, we are going to witness a revolutionized circuit that will blend entertainment and racing all in one. And if you are Lando Norris, you'd be extremely happy to participate in such a weekend, with a McLaren driver making his feelings known regarding the Qiddiya project. Speaking on how this is going to change the world of Formula One as we know it, Norris said, "I've seen the video and the preview and it looks pretty crazy. It's what Saudi Arabia does, so full respect to them for coming up with some crazy things and trying to make it as cool as it looks. You have a lot of places that are nowhere near as lively and as fun, so if you want people to be attracted to the sport in general, you don't want it to just be a track in the middle of nowhere that no one goes to." The goal that Qiddiya set in front of itself is very ambitious. They want to be the leaders in F1 in both entertainment and racing. So, I don't think they will need much help, considering how promising their project looks. Even the Prince of Saudi Arabia, Khalid, went on to share what type of revolution Qiddiya is going to present to the F1 world, something we'll share with you later in this video. According to the initial projections, the Qiddiya circuit is going to have 3 DRS zones, perfect opportunities to overtake, and the top speed should reach 325 kilometers per hour. It's worth mentioning that the F1 caravan will come here under the newly regulated era, likely beyond 2027, when the cars are going to be narrower. It should be much better in terms of pure racing. But since the new regulations are still a big mystery for everyone, I won't go into further details as to what type of racing we should expect here in Qiddiya. Prince Khalid bin Sultan Al Abdullah Al Faisal was very pleased with the speed at which the project has developed. When talking about it in greater detail, he said, "The track is going to be ready in 2027, so it's going to be determined by the other surrounding projects in terms of whether they will be finished on time or not. Sometimes in these mega projects, there are delays. We are not in a rush to move from Jeddah. If everything goes well and we feel comfortable, and Formula One feels comfortable going there, we think not before 2027. So we are thinking about 2028 and maybe 2029. The big question here is, what does this mean for Jeddah? We do have a race in Saudi Arabia now, but the narrative has been set by the authorities. Qiddiya will replace Jeddah as the host of the Saudi Arabian GP once the right time comes. It's highly unlikely that we're going to witness 2 races in this country in the same season, so a potential rotation could be on the map. But given the potential of Qiddiya's project, I highly doubt the kingdom would want to move from here in the foreseeable future. However, the prince didn't want to put this equation out of consideration, as he said, to have 2 races or rotate between Qiddiya and Jeddah, it's too early to discuss. Our main focus now is to enjoy what's remaining in Jeddah and look forward to moving to the new facility in Qiddiya and taking things forward from there. When we reach that point, but it's too early, we have nothing in plan still. We need to take all other things into consideration. Starting with the bids from Thailand and South Africa, Thailand has just approved a massive $1.2 billion project in order to build an F1 track in the foreseeable future. On the other hand, Kyalami received a Grade 1 upgrade and is now ready to host an F1 race. What is Grade 1, you might ask? Up until now, the Kyalami circuit was standing at Grade 2, and now that it has been upgraded, the runoff areas, barriers, debris fencing, curbs, and drainage have all been improved. However, the layout of the track remains the same. The owner, Toby Venter, is now very hopeful that we are going to receive a race in one of the fastest-growing economies in the world. Furthermore, Venter said, this is a defining moment for South African motorsport. When we acquired Kyalami in 2014, we made a commitment to restore it not just as a world-class venue but as a beacon for motorsport across the African continent. The FIA's acceptance of our Grade 1 design is a major step forward in that journey. There are some challenges mounting Kyalami's comeback to the F1 calendar, including political instability in the country. Not only that, but they also have internal conflicts. Cape Town is also proposed to run for an F1 circuit with different investors. And as if this wasn't enough, let's not forget that Rwanda, a bolstering economy and a force to be reckoned with in Africa, has made its own bid to host an F1 event. Stefano Domenicali spoke publicly about how happy he would be to see the F1 caravan visit Rwanda. So maybe Kyalami isn't the clear leader when it comes to hosting a race on the African continent. Let's not forget who is the loudest and biggest supporter of a race in Kyalami, Lewis Hamilton. The 7-time world champion is acting like an ambassador for the South African GP and elaborated on racing here before he retires. The Ferrari driver was adamant that he's going to give all of his efforts to make an F1 race here a reality. Furthermore, he said, "I'm working in the background to get South Africa in the race. That's such a dream for me. I've got to stay until they get that race." So what does this mean for all the other circuits on the calendar? It's definitely not good news. Because if you think about it, the drivers have been adamant that 24 races is the absolute maximum they could do in a single year. Even for some of them, this number is already too much. F1 staff are suffering from fatigue and jet lag from consistent traveling without proper rest.